Girls, welcome back to the drive-through here with a final video from your analytic trig section. And this is actually the most review of all of these videos we made. Many of you have proceeded on and done this prior to even seeing this video, but we're just solving equations that involve sines and cosines and tangents and whatnot. And this first one's pretty easy. It's really a geometry question. Sine of x is radical 3 over 2. Okay, how do you get rid of sine? Take the sine inverse, but you got to take the sine inverse of both sides. So x is the sine inverse of radical 3 over 2. You can certainly just put that into your calculator. Second sine of radical 3 divided by 2. No. Radical 3 over divided by 2. Got to make sure we put it in our calculator, right? And that's in radians, so that would be fine. Although we don't know how many radians that is, we want our answer exact. Let's change our mode into degrees and do that again. And let's just go up and hit enter on this thing. Enter again. That gives us 60 degrees. You could also do this without a calculator. And we got to make sure that if there's more than one answer, that we list them all. So if we sketch this out, where is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse, radical 3 over 2? Well, if you remember, that would be in a 60-degree angle. However, if I had -1 and positive radical 3 and positive 2, it would also work there, which would be a 60-degree reference angle or a 120-degree angle. So here I think x is 60 or 120 degrees. Or I think x is pi over 3 or 2 pi over 3. And let's put that in our calculator and check. Sine of 60 is 0.866. That would be radical 3 over 2. Sine of 120. So you got two answers for that question. All right. This is the final question I'm going to do for you to help you on your practice. This is hard. Okay, now once you get into calculus, you'll start substituting functions in for variables, like for letters. So just to make it easier, let's let this thing called u equal sine of theta. Well, then what this is 2u squared plus 1u minus 1 equals 0. So we can factor that. Let's see. We're looking for, we're going to do a riddle to split the middle. Two numbers that multiply to be -2 and add to be +1. And so that would be that multiply to be -2 and add to be +1. So that would be +2 times -1. So we're going to rewrite this as 2u squared plus 2u minus 1u minus 1 equals 0. If you don't know how to factor, then you need to put this into your John Rick formula. So this is going to be 2u times u plus 1 minus 1 times u plus 1. So you get parentheses 2u minus 1 times u plus 1 equals 0. All right, so how does 2u minus 1 times u plus 1 equal 0? Well, either 2u minus 1 equals 0, or u plus 1 equals 0. All right, now let's substitute it back in. U equals sine of 0. So 2 times the sine, of theta minus 1 equals 0, which means 2 times the sine of theta equals 1, which means sine of theta is positive 1/2. Where is the sine equal to 1/2? 1, 2, that's at 30 degrees. 1, 2. So theta is 30 degrees, or what's this angle that goes from here to here? Well, that's 150 degrees. Okay? You could also have it as pi over 6 or 5 pi over 6 if the answer is in radians. All right, let's go back to the second one. U plus 1 equals 0. So sine of theta plus 1 equals 0. Sine of theta equals negative 1. I think the sine equals negative 1 right there. That's at 0, comma, negative 1. Yep. Okay. So theta would be 270 degrees, or negative 90 degrees, depending on how they want it. We could also have theta equal to, what is that, 3 pi over 2? Or negative pi over 2. And that's a tougher version of these type of problems you're going to be solving on your homework. I hope this helps. Boom!